Hello, Terry. Welcome to Saturday, my friend. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. Looks like you got a haircut over there, my man. Did you get a haircut? You're looking
Yeah,
clean.
about a week and a half ago.
Oh my God. Well, sometimes it takes old eyes a little while to catch up, my friend.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like the speed of light. The light that you see from the stars is a billion years away.
that's right.
So my brain works at the anti-speed of light. It's still a billion years away. All right. Well, you ready for Tampa Bay? Hey, man, this card is thick, Terry.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Track is fast. The turf is firm. Not a whole lot of scratches. A lot of deep fields. I think it could be. I mean, you got some big favorites, but I do think they're all vulnerable. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think like that one big favorite. I think it's in the 11th race.
Uh-huh.
If or 10th, I don't remember which
The
one.
Skippy Longstockings?
No, it's the other one. I think the one that's won 6 in a row or something like that.
Uh-huh.
If it doesn't make it, boy, that makes that race wide open. So
I think they're all pretty much wide open today, Terry. Before we get cracking, if you're going to bet at Laurel today, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description down below. It is the free track of the day. The track is fast. I figured I'd get that out of the way early because Laurel is going to start pretty soon. So you can make sure you can take full advantage of that free Laurel card. All right, Terry. Well, let's take our gander at race number 1. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up here. Race 1 at Tampa Bay Downs. I still have some stuff in here yesterday from Tom, and I had a rough day last night at Rose Hill in Australia. Didn't catch too many winners, so hopefully we can change that today. A lot of shots came in yesterday at Rose Hill. Anyway, 6 furlongs, claiming 8,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime. Purse of 19 grand. The first race in this 12 race card. At 6 furlongs on that main track there, Terry, you're looking for horses that do have some early speed. In fact, 36% of those horses go wire to wire. So that's a pretty good speed advantage there. However, there is a recognizable inside 3 penalty. Post 4 through 7, get a big bonus. 8 and out, play under par. There's a couple of races coming up a little bit later on where there's an anti-bias where you really want to stay away from the inside 3. We'll get to that. Before we make our picks real quick, we do 1,000 simulations using the speed figures and a little bit of math I learned in high school and college and elsewhere to create what our odds look like they should be, simulated odds versus the morning line odds, try to find some value. We also do the same thing for early speed, 1,000 simulations to see who's going to be where at the quarter-mile marker. Terry, there looks like there is plenty of early speed. Every single horse except for the Wild Irishman has a shot to have the lead at some point.
That's right. There's lots of speed here, like you said, like the 9 or the 12, the 5, the 11. They all show lots of speed, and then there's some others that show a little bit speed also. And as far as the overlays go on the odds, it looks like the 4 is almost 3-1 on the simulated odds, and it's going to be a 4-1, so that's a small amount. And then the 8 horse 5-1 in the morning line, almost 5-1, 6-1, so that's a small. But number 11, that's a really big overlay. That's supposed to be right around 3-1, and it looks like it's morning lines at 12-1.
And neither one of us have that horse. I wonder if that's going to be a bad thing for the two of us. We also like to plot out what the race might look like. Again, a couple scratches here with the 2 also eligibles not running. The 14 did have some late speed, but not going to be a part of that. You can see a lot of these horses want to be on the lead. They're E-types. EPs can be pilots or co-pilots. Ps tend to be co-pilots. PCs can run anywhere usually. They're most versatile. So they can be on the front, the middle, the back, and then the C are your closers. You got a whole lot of speed up in here, Terry. It does look like the 9 has the most early speed out of this crew. How do you see this race at the finish line?
All right. Well, I like that number 4 horse, Tap First. She finished 3rd versus Sumner in her last race. He did. And he has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 28% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 5, Awesome Enough, is my second choice. Ran second versus Tougher in his last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to high percentage winning jockey. Has the highest race speed rating. And then number 8, Cajun Red, is my third pick. Won his last race at Tampa Bay Downs and has the best start speed among today's starters. Then number 12, Abe Honestly. He's my long shot, ran second versus similar in his last race and has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 20% of the races in the second start that he has with a horse.
That's pretty
And
good.
then go ahead.
I said that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to bet $1 daily double. I'm going to use the 4, 5, 8, 12, and then use the 2 as a single in the second leg. And I'm going to bet a pick 4. I'm going to use the 4, 5, 8, 12. I'm going to single the 2 in the second race. I'm going to use the 1, 4, 5, 7 in the third, and then the 4, 6 in the sixth.
So what we do is we have $100 budget. I've seen some other people copying us now with that, Terry. $100 budget at the track. So good to see that. Yes, I've seen a couple of them out there now since we've done that. But in any case, we put $100 together. We get to spend it for the entirety of the track. And if I go a dime over, Terry breaks out the ruler and busts up my knuckles for sure. I like in race number 1, the 5 horse. Awesome Enough. That's how you would describe Terry. Does have the top last race speed figure by a few points. This horse was incrementally better from the beginning to the end of its last race. And Paco Lopez is on board today. Number 4, Tap It First. Similar fractions last time out at 6.5 furlongs. Then it ran at 5.5 furlongs. I think cutting back a little bit in distance here, that half a furlong in the third start off a layoff could do the trick. Number 8, Cajun Red, been moving up the speed gun ladder, 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row. Today, going to get a little bit of a weight break. And then finally, number 12, Abe Honestly. Second start, as you mentioned, for trainer Kathleen O'Connell, does win at 20%. What's significant about that is her overall winning rate is 14%. So I call that an alpha angle. I do think it's going to be difficult to string together 4 winners in a row. It is on cards where there's only 6 horses in the field, never mind a competitive card like this. Most of my bets today are trifectas, I think all but 2. 4, 5, and 8 with the 4, 5, with the 4, 5, 8, 9, and 12 in race 1 for yours truly. Race 2 is next up on the card, and race 2, not so many horses in that one, but they're going to run 1 mile and 40 yards. This is a maiden special weight for $37,000 at 1 mile and 40 yards, kind of a peculiar distance, but in any case, early speed does win at the Tampa track on the dirt course. 23%, in fact, go wire to wire. Most of the post positions 1 through 7 are fair. You get a little bit of a bonus at 8 and out. Don't know that comes into play today because I think there's only 7 horses in the field. Indeed, there are. And one of those horses on the outside is going to be blazing fast, at least the 2 favorites anyway.
That's right. That number 7 horse is a speedster for sure. So the 7 and the 2 are probably going to try to race for the quarter pole. But
does that concern you a little bit? The 2 favorites might burn each other?
Well, I don't know. It could. Just depends. But I think speed horses are doing pretty well. I like speed horses, especially in this type of a race.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the 2 is a nice overlay. It's supposed to be like just above 1.5 to 1. And then it's 2 to 1 in the morning line. And then that 7 horse is supposed to be less than even money. And it's, what is that? About 5?
About 4 to 5, about,
yeah.
I think about 8 to 5 morning line, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's a 9 to 5 morning line. Yeah, it looks like a 4 to 5 fair value. It looks like both of them, the 2 favorites, should provide value if they don't get really knocked down. And our way to the winner's circle worksheet says, indeed, the 2 and the 7 are the ones that are going to get to the lead. 7 does have a +9 advantage through 4 furlongs. That's going to be on the front. A couple of other horses back here. The 4 horse, never been close. So you could, to me, you take that one out, turns it into a 6 horse field. The 5 horse is a first-time starter. So you don't know what that's going to bring to the table. Unquestionably, the 2 and the 7 are going to get after it when the gates open. Question is, which order are they going to finish, or do they actually burn each other out, Terry?
All right. Well, I like that too. and I like it quite a bit. Ringside finished third versus similar in his only start and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 7, Perform, the other speedster, is drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like the number 1 horse as my third pick, Star Force. He can improve while returning to the dirt and has a high percentage winning jockey who in the last 7 days, he's actually been in the money 10 out of 15 times, winning 5 of those starts. I like my long shot is number 3, Ski Country. Has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 20% of the races in the trainer's second route race with a horse. And I'm going to bet $10 to win on number 2.
I'm going to start off with that 7 horse, that Burner. Going to get out. Had the top last race, speed figure by a pretty wide margin last time out. That means he's going to have to regress, or everybody else is going to have to come up. It was a peak number, and whenever I see a peak speed number, I always look back to see what happened the last time they peaked. Well, the last time Perform put a peak number out, it ran the same number the second time out. So I expect a similar performance in the second start off the bench for Perform. Number 2, Ringside, the other, is the horse that had the best debut of the bunch and has a very nice couple of workouts in between starts. Number 5, Artwell. I'm not sure if Todd Pletcher moved Pablo Morales off the 6 horse, but he's the man at Tampa Bay Downs. And on his first timer, my guess, and he's riding a first timer here with the 5. My guess is Pablo has worked this horse in the morning on the backside there. And if he had a choice, it's telling that he took the 5 over the 6. And then again, 6, decent debut. And I can't imagine that Pablo, Pletcher would take Pablo off of a horse for a maiden special weight. I could see maybe if he took him off for a stakes race or something like that. So I'm going to go with a 50-cent trifecta, 257 with the 27 with the 1, 2, 5, 6, and 7. We got a couple of minutes to race number 1. So let's see if we can get through race number 3 real quick here, Terry. And then, hold on a second. Good morning. How are you today? Race 1. Who will win in race 1? Okay, so let's go back to race 1 real quick. Race 1, we have Terry likes the 4, the 5, the 8, and the 12. I like the 5 and the 4. So it looks like between Terry and I, it's the 4 and the 5. According to the wagering, it is the 5 is your favorite right now and the 4. Those two are heavy favorites. And then you have the 8 and the 10 and the 12 as the only other horses that are under 10 to 1. But all others are over 5 to 1 except the 4 and the 5. Race number 3, Terry. Let's see if we have time to do that or not. Race number 3. It is real quick. Well, at least we can set it up anyhow. This one is 6 furlongs. It is a maiden $37,000 special weight. Again, 6 furlongs. Early speed, 36% go wire to wire. There is an inside penalty for 1, 2, and 3. 4 through 7 get a big bonus. 8 and up are over par. Let's look and see. Yeah, we still have a couple seconds here, Terry. So as far as the early pace is concerned in race number 3, Terry, does look like you got 3 primary players.
Yeah, it looks like to me like the 5, 8, and the 1 are the speed. Going to get it to the quarter pole first. It looks like the 5 and the 8 will actually be the ones that race to the quarter pole. And then number 1 is a nice overlay. It's supposed to be 2.5 to 1 on simulated odds. And then number it's 10 to 1 on the morning line. And then number 8 is a huge overlay. He's supposed to be less than even money. And he's listed 10 to 1 on the morning line. So
indeed. And real quick for the way to the winner's circle for race number 3, you have the 3 being out as a first-time starter. All the experienced horses have similar early speed except the 10 and the 9. Those two don't have as much pace as some of the others do, but the 9 does have a +5 late pace advantage. You have basically a barbell approach over here. You got 3 horses that want to be on the lead versus 3 horses that are on the back, a couple first-time starters that you don't know what they're going to bring to the table, Terry. Real quickly, I think we have time to go through our picks because I haven't heard them going into the post yet, so run through your picks real fast.
Yeah, I like number 1, Rainbow's Pride as my first pick. Finished second in his last race, only losing by a neck after being well bet in the debut and has a high percentage when you jockey. Number 5 is my second pick. City Humor has an early foot, but finished a disappointing 6th after being bumped at the break, and returning to this dirt may help him. And number 4 is Roses of Liam. By Liam is my third pick, finished third versus similar in his last race. I like the 7 as my long shot. D's Wise Guy. He has an early foot, so his early speed style will help his chances, and he can improve while returning to dirt. I'm going to play 50-cent trifecta, 1-5 with a 1-4-5 with the 1-4-5-7-9.
All right. So I don't know that I'll have time to go through my picks real quick. Let's go back to race number 1 in terms of what we like here. Race 1, as you can see, we both like the 4 and 5 as our top selections. It looks like there's plenty of early speed in this particular spot. They're almost all loaded in here. We got a few more horses to get in before the race gets started. And then we'll be off to the races for race number 1 at Tampa Bay Downs on what is going to be an exciting card, Terry. Terry, again, has a pick 4, 4, 5, 8, 12 in the first leg, with the 2 in race number 2, 1, 4, 5, 7 in race number 3, 4, 6 in race number 4. If you have a little bit of time left, maybe to get that bet in. He also likes a daily double, 4, 5, 8, 12 over to 2. I'm going to do a 50-cent try. They're off. The one horse just got a horrible start, so I don't think the one horse is going to be in there. If you played that one, I'm sorry. The horse that right now looks like it has the lead is the 11 horse, that Wood Darius, the one that was the big overlay, Terry, that neither one of us have.
Yep, the one that scared us, yeah.
Yep, there's a big bunch of horses together, though. They're all packed up in there. The 5 is right to the outside. Big hold on that 5 with the jockey in there, Pablo Morales. I don't think Pablo's riding 5. Yeah, Paco Lopez on the 5 horse, although it looks to me like, he hasn't really asked the 11 to go yet. It's going to come down. The Paco has asked the 5 to do some work. The 4 looks like it's going to get the rail if the 11 goes wide here. So it looks like it's going to be the 5 horse has crept up alongside the 11. The 4 horse is going to make a move on the rail. So it looks to me like it's going to go 4, 5, and then 4, 5, 4, 5, 3. Neither one of us had the 3, that long price there. Runaway Tom. But we did have the top 2. We had the right picks in there, but the bettors were on those side as well. 4, 5, co-favorites, winning race number 1. I like when we get off to a start where our picks at the top of the ticket do well, Terry.
Yeah, and that 4 went off of 5-2, which was pretty nice. Going to be a nice double if that 2 can win that second race, and starts my pick 4 off really nice.
Indeed, it does. So for race number 3, back to my picks in race number 3. I like number 2, Smooth Like Flynn, as my top selection in here. Smooth Like Flynn is a first-time starter, does have a bunch of decent works, and it doesn't really look like this is it looks kind of like a soft field to me. Number 1, Rainbow's Pride, did have a rough start in its last, missed by just a neck. A little better start and good workouts in between should be enough to get this horse into the mix. Number 9, all our money is my third choice in here. This was better across the board with its in-race numbers in its second career start. I would have liked to seen a couple more workouts between races, but I think there has to be some unpublished works. If the March 7th work is the only work, I'd be a little concerned. And then finally, number 8, King Miano, top last race speed figure. And when you look at its last workout, it was the best workout that this horse has produced so far. I like the 50-cent trifecta here, the 1-2 with the 1-2-9 with the 1-2-6-8 and 9. That first race, Terry, would have been an excellent candidate for something I learned from the gentleman. Congratulations, misters. Thank you, Davey. We appreciate that. 1-2. We hope we go 1-2 all day in this very competitive card, because it's going to be a really competitive card all day long. I forget his name right now. The guy who runs past the wire, Jonathan Stetton, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Jonathan Stetton said that when you can, and I like to give people credit when they, whenever it is they come up with an idea that I like. But he said, if you can get the exacta right, and in this case, we both like the 4 and the 5, to go ahead and bet the exacta. So in the superfecta, so 4-5, 4-5, all.
Yeah.
in the superfecta. Had we done that in race number 1, we would have had it. And it looks like the odds were you had, the 3 got second, actually. Really? Well, there's an inquiry going on there. The objection, the 5 on the 4. Oof. We could have a whole different problem here.
We could, yeah.
Yeah, because the 3 beat the 5. I didn't think the 3 beat the 5 when I saw the screen. Did you?
No, but I did see that 5 kind of falling back, and it looked like a little bit like the 4 went in front of him. So I don't know.
Well, that could be a dangerous objection. We'll keep our eye on that. Race number 4 is 1 mile on the turf. It's an allowance, 33,000. Non-winners a 1. Purse is $33,000. There are a couple of races today that are 1 mile on the turf. So pay attention to race number 4 to get a sense of how the track might play today. We saw in that race there, speed did hold up on the dirt, at least in the sprint, which is what the profile of the winner told us. Profile of the winner here says tactical speed at 1 mile on the turf is the preferred running style, although 22% do manage to go wire to wire. You do have an inside 3 bias, so post 1, 2, and 3 get a little bit of an edge. 4 and out, play close to fair. In race number 4, Terry, we do have, again, a race that has plenty of horses that are candidates to be on the lead.
Yeah, there's plenty of speed in here. The 8, 4, 5, 9, 11, they're all going to go try to get to that quarter pole first. And as far as overlays go, that 1 is supposed to be a little over 3 to 1, and its morning line is 8 to 1. The 3 is just a little bit over 3 to 1, and the morning line's 5 to 1, and the simulated odds on the 8 horse is 4 to 1. A little bit of an overlay of 4.5 to 1.
As far as the way the race might pace out in race number 4, you do have plenty of speed horses, and you got 3, and they want to be on the lead in race number 4. You see the 9 and the 11. The 11 actually has a plus advantage through 4 furlongs, meaning at the half-mile marker could be as much as a length ahead of everybody else. And that's without putting any extra effort in, just its normal early speed. The 5 horse as a PC type versatile one, they left the 4 up top. So the 4 is your winner and went 4, 3, and 5. I don't know how the 3 beat the 5, but I guess it did.
Right at the end. It just at the end, it came by it.
And then the 11, the 1 horse that we saw as an overlay, that horse came in for 4th. So, all right, well, Terry, you're off to your double. Let's see if we can bring it home with the 2 horse in race number 2. As far as late speed is concerned, the 7 horse here is the one with the most late speed. In this race shape, most of the horses wanting to be middle back, although about half of them have some early speed. I do think horses that are more forwardly placed will likely have the edge in this spot. How do you see it when it's over, Terry?
Well, I like the number 4. She's won 2 races in a row at Tampa Bay Downs and now going for a hat trick and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 6, my second pick, Texas Shuffle, comes in from Gulfstream Park after finishing 3rd versus Tougher in her last race. And she's going to try Tampa Bay Downs, I think, for the first time. Drops in class today, and her best earth speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 5, Prudent Song, is my 3rd pick. She has finished in the money in 8 out of the last 9 races and won 3 of those. And then number 1 is my long shot, Flashy 2. She finished 3rd versus in her last race and has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the races when he takes blinkers off. I'm not going to make any bets in this race.
We like the same 3 horses up front, so I don't know if that's good or bad. But Eau Claire has been getting better and won the last 2 races in a row. But what's most impressive about that last win was there was a big time improvement in fractions at the 1 mile race versus the prior start at 1 mile. Number 6, Texas Shuffle, track dropper, I think coming in from Gulfstream Park. Been off since New Year's Eve. Works are very strong, and the first up record is solid, but no wins yet. So the probably needs one before it's in peak form. Number 5, Prudent Song, won both of its Tampa Bay Downs races at 1 mile on the turf. Both of them were fairly easy. I'm concerned, though, about this horse being claimed by a low win rate barn. Finally, number 3, Sweet Duchess. Last race was a lot better than the finish as the fractions internally were faster again. 50-cent trifecta for me. I'm going to go with the 4, 5, 6, the 4, 6 with the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Race number 5 is our next stop on the Tampa Bay Downs card. Terry, race 5 is 7 furlongs. It's a handicap. The purse is $50,000. If you look at 7 furlongs on the dirt track at the Tampa Bay Downs track over there on the Gulf Coast, you find that early speed is the way to the winner's circle. 36% of the time, they go wire to wire. As far as the post positions are concerned, there is an outside to inside bias, and 8 and out is best of all. So the farther you are from the rail, the better off you are, Terry. And in race number 5, looking at the early speed, the 8 horse, Bahamian Moon, has a lot of it, and it is outside.
That's right. It should get to the quarter pole first if our simulated percent of the lead it comes to true. But it's going to have a little bit of competition from the 1, the inside horse, and the outside horse, the 11. And then I think as far as overlay goes, the 2 is a really nice overlay. It's supposed to be just above even money, and it's listed at 4-1 on morning line odds. And then the 5 is a little over 3-1, like 7-2, and it's listed at 5-1 on the morning line. So,
as far as the race shape sets up for race number 5, as you can see, there are a lot of horses with boxes on them. So they all, I mean, there's really a ton of early speed in here. Look at all of this speed. 7 is out, so that'll take away from some of the early pace in here. But you see just box after box after box. All these are horses that have shown a lot of early interest in the most recent races. Even the 2 horse back here, which is your lone closer, has a bunch of speed. So this one likes to close, probably will be in the mix early on, does have the second best late pace in the field. The 5 horse does have the most late pace in this field as well, Terry. It's interesting to me that I have the 2 horse on top here. You don't have it, and I singled it in my pick 4. So I'm interested in your view on the other picks for you.
Okay, well, I like the number 6. Olivia Darling is my first pick. You know, she's won 2 out of the last 3 starts, and she's finished second in her last race. Has a high percentage winning trainer, and she has a really good workout on March 4th. And then I like number 4, Take a Stand, as my second pick. She finished 3rd versus Tougher on the turf in her last race, and she drops in class today. And then number 1, my 3rd pick, Rest of the Story, ran 2nd in her last race. Then number 9 is my long shot, Adios Baby. She has finished in the money in 9 of the last 10 races, so she's very competitive. She won 2 of those starts, has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, and a good workout on March 5th.
And a good price, too, on that 9. It looks like at 20-1. I like this 2 horse, Terry, in here, Sterling Silver. Been a while. I think the last time it ran was in the Breeders' Cup. So it's taking a big drop in class for this spot here, a handicap race. The horse ran 5 graded stakes races in a row, making its first start off the bench, including its debut. It's had 3 first runs after a layoff, won every single one of them. I really wonder why this horse is in this race. The last time I wondered why a horse was in the race was White Abarrio, and that horse won pretty easy last week at Gulfstream Park. So, Sterling Silver just looks like an absolute standout here if it runs anything close to its class, for sure. I like the 6 horse, Olivia Darling, as my second choice in here. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. That, according to Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper, is an alpha angle, one that wins at 15% or more. Made a huge mid-move in the middle of its last race, and that was chasing some extremely fast fractions. Number 1, Rest of the Story. At the distance, 7 times, has 3 seconds and 3 thirds. So 7 times out, 6 times, second or third. Should be involved from the time the gates open to the time they hit the wire. And then finally, number 5, Tap Dance Fever. Won 2 races at Tampa Bay Downs and then went off to Gulfstream Park to run in a grade 3 and failed. So it's going to come back to Tampa Bay and run in a handicap. I'm going to do a pick 4. I'm going to single that 2 horse, Terry. If it just runs to its form, I don't see how the other horses compete with it. 3, 7, 9 in the next leg with the 1, 3, 9, and 10 in the third leg, and then the 2, 7, and 8. My only concern about that 2 horse is why is it running at this level and not in one of the stakes races today, which could be a tip off that perhaps the horse is not in its best form. I don't know. Race number 6. This one is a maiden special weight for $37,000 at 6 furlongs on the dirt course. Again, 6 furlongs does favor speed. It's particularly horses that are post 4 and out, although a little bit 8 under par a little bit. Terry, we didn't do the simulations here. Too many first-time starters. So since there are so many first-time starters, we'll just get straight to picks. What do you have?
All right. I like in this 6th race, number 7, Broken Hearts Bay. She finished 3rd versus similar in her last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters and has a high percentage winning jockey. Miss Bogcaro. Number 3 is a first-time starter who's
Bucciero. I'm going to go Bucciero.
Ms. Bucciero. Okay, she is a first-time starter whose sire wins 17% with first-time starters. Her dam has 3 winners from 3 starters, and one of those was a stakes winner. And she has a good workout on March 5th. Then number 6 is my 3rd pick, Oldest Sister, who is also a first-time starter. And her dam has 3 winners from 4 starters and a good workout on March 3rd. And then I like the number 10 long shot, Dynamic Daisy. And one of the reasons is my mom's name was Daisy. Anyways, she is a first-time starter whose sire wins 18% with first-time starters, and her dam has 2 winners from 2 starters. I'm going to play a 50-cent trifecta. I'm going to use the 3-7 with the 3-6-7 with the 3-6-7, 10-14.
Beautiful. Terry taking my ticket structure there. All right. I appreciate that. Flattery is the invitation is the highest form of flattery. I'm going to take some chances in this race, Terry, with all these first-time starters. The 3-horse Miss Bucciero. The workouts are just way too good to ignore in this horse. And trainer John Vincent, he's had 14 first-time starters this year, and he's won with 6 of them. Good number right there. Number 9, Kaylee's Fantasy. 4 straight fast workouts in a row for a horse that's going to be 12-1 morning line. The only thing that concerned me a little bit about the horse is it was working every week on schedule, like work, then 1 week, work later, another week. And then it skipped 2 weeks to the most recent workout. So maybe the horse was a little sore, but that last workout was pretty good. Number 7, Broken Hearts Bay. Either this one or the 14 are the best of the experienced horses. So I put them both in there, the 7 and the 14. The 7 did run the top last race speed figure. I'm going to go, one horse that concerns me in here too is the 11 horse, the Dream Concert, the other first-time starter. It had some really nice workouts as well. So I have that in my back end of my trifecta as well. 3-9 over the 3-7-9 over the 3-7-9, 11, and 14. Real quick, our good friend Jamie Martinez right now is down at Tampa Bay Downs. So if you're at Tampa Bay Downs, make sure you stop by and say hello to Jamie. She's been texting me some video that we'll be uploading shortly on the Horse Racing Radar TV. While you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, Terry. Like us on all of our social sites and all that kind of good stuff. Everybody knows the routine. They've heard it 1,000 times before. All right, race number 7, Terry, as we try to work our way through this 12-card field, is one of the first stakes races. It is $75,000. The Columbia Stakes, it is 1 mile on the turf. Again, I mentioned there are a number of 1-mile turf races today. Tactical speed does well. 22% go wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias, 4 and out, play close to fair. In race number 7, we do have a scratch with the 7-horse Worthington, who was going to be a part of the early speed. It doesn't matter. There are plenty that will want to take up that mantle.
Yeah, that's correct. There's the 8, the 9, the 3. They're all wanting to go try to get to the quarter pole there. And that overlay would be the 2. I'm sorry, it's not the 2. I don't know.
Overlay looks like
the 3
and the 5.
Yeah, it's about double what it's with simulated odds at almost 7-1, but it's going to go up at morning line at 12-1, and then the 5. That's a nice overlay. You go from 1.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. So, and it's unfortunate I don't have it. You don't have it. So
yeah, I don't know what's going on with the both of us there. Maybe we're a little bit out of our minds today. We've got a couple of scratches to 7s out of this race. So that doesn't, well, not a couple scratches. I don't know. I put something here and then I changed my mind. I think I scratched that one out on accident. It looks like the early speed does belong to the 8 and 9, just like the simulator showed. One thing that concerns me, I don't know, do either one of us have the 8 horse? I think you do. This 8 as a lone EP, those horses can be very dangerous. The 5 is the lone PC2. These two horses, even though their form might not show it in the program, because of the trip that they're likely to get, could be more competitive than you might expect, Terry. I think you did have the 8 in your picks. I don't think I did. I might regret it. What do you like?
Yeah, I do have the 8 in my picks, but it's my long shot. I like the 10 Talk of the Nation as my first pick. He won his last race at Tampa Bay Downs, has a high percentage winning jockey. He has a good workout of 5 furlongs on March 4th. And then number 1, Freedom Trail. My second choice has won 2 out of 3 races, drops in class today, and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 3 is a Western Yarn. My third pick has won 2 races in a row and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And the number 8 that you were talking about, Smoke Lightning. He finished in the money in 3 out of the last 4 out of his 4 career races, and he won one of those. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. I'm going to play a pick 5 here. I'm going to use the 1-3-10 with the 2-7 with the 5-6, and then I'm going to single the 10 in the 10th, and then I'm going to use the 4-6-9.
Yeah, that 10 did look like a little bit of a standout, but I have some concerns when I ran through the in-race numbers in that spot right there. For race 7, lucky race number 7, Talk of the Nation, I agree with you, is the talk of this race in any case. This one's been getting better and better and better through its first 3 starts. And I think cutting back in distance here from its last start is helpful. Number 3, a Western Yarn. This one has been undefeated in 2 at the distance since switching from sprints to routes. Number 1, Freedom Trail, won his first 2 on grass, then tried a dirt race for a grade 2, which failed, back to turf, and is the lone closer in this field. And then number 9, Mustache, was a real tough call over that 5 horse, that big overlay. But this one finished 3rd in the Breeders' Cup, and the works are okay getting ready. Another horse that you kind of wonder, maybe it's running at a level that might be kind of concerning, because the Breeders' Cup compared to the $75,000 non-graded stakes at Tampa Bay Downs, maybe looking to collect the check. 1-3-10 trifecta with the 3-10, with the 1-3-5, 9 and 10. Probably going to regret not having the 8 on the backside of that as the lone EP type. Race 8 is another one of those stakes races, Terry. As we get into the meat of the card, all of the big races, 8, 9, 10, and 11. This one is a mile and a 16th. It is the Challenger Stakes. It is a grade 3 for $100,000. They're going to run a mile and a 16th, Terry, and there is a huge anti-bias at a mile and a 16th on that Tampa Bay Downs track. And here it is. No horses have won from the rail. So trademark, if you like it, you might want to discount that guy a little bit. And then 2 and 3, post 2 and 3 have also underperformed by a lot. 4 through 7, they get a little bit of above par action. And then there's a big bonus if you wear the 8 or out. So despite how they might look on paper, those 1s, those 2s, and those 3s at a mile and a 16th, you might have to downgrade them a little bit, Terry. It does seem like there's something about that post position that harms their chances to win. What do you think is going to happen in this spot?
Well, are we going to look at the...
Oh, yes, we are going to look at this. There you go.
Yeah. Well, the 3 and the 1 is the ones that have the most speed. So inside horses will try to race that quarter pole. And actually, the 2 has a nice overlay. It's supposed to be a little over even money, and it's 1.5 to 1. So
yeah, it looks like about 3 to 5 versus 8 to 5. It's going to be the heavy favorite in there. There's no question about that. I just really wonder about that post position, if it's really going to hurt its chances. And that's something that I was concerned about as I saw that big anti-bias in race number 8. We have a ton of early speed. 4 being out. Classic Causeway was the one I thought was actually going to win this race. It's a shame that it's out. And then you have the 3. All of these PC types, the 6 horse is going to be a pressure. You're going to have a lot of speed. These horses are going to get up and get to the front. This 8 horse, if it can sit really close to the pace, maybe 2-3 lengths off, and they go too fast, it has a +7 late pace advantage. It's going to pick off a lot of tired horses. The question is, can it get to the wire first, Terry? I don't think you have it in your picks at all. But you
No,
do think that 2 horse will be able to overcome that crappy rail bias.
I do. The Skippy Long Stockings has won 2 races out of the last 4 races and has the highest last speed rating. Best speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like the number 7 Tax. He can improve while returning to dirt, has a trainer who wins 23% of the races when shipping a horse in, and has the highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 1, Trademark is my third pick, has won his last 2 races, and he has a bullet workout on March 5th. Number 3 is my long shot, Mighty Heart, returns to the dirt, where he's won his last race at Tampa Bay Downs. And I want to play a pick 4, 50 cent. I'm going to use the 2-7 with the 5-6, with the 6-10, with the 4-6-9.
I like in this race. I'm gonna play against that bias. And I know that Skippy Longstocking is probably gonna be 3-5 favorite, but I'm gonna go with the 8 Business Model. Has that late pace advantage in a field loaded with horses that want to be up front. I'm crossing my fingers that they go out in the opening quarter like 22 and change, opening half and 46, and then watch Business Model run by them all at the end. Skippy Longstockings is probably the best horse in this field, especially now with Classic Causeway not involved in here. But I just felt like I have to play away from that inside 3 anti-bias. 7, Tax, great horse. Been facing tougher compared to the horses that are left behind it that I haven't picked yet. And I'm going to take the outside horse over the next 2 horses that I have in my rankings, the 3 and the 1. Mighty Heart gets the nod over Trademark. This one really benefits, I think, from the 4 scratching. Has been at Tampa Bay once before, won that lone dirt start, and has been in the money 8 of 10 at the distance with 3 wins, a couple of seconds, and 3/3. I'm going to do a pick 4. I think the 2 horses your most likely winner, but I'm hoping the 8 catches them. I'm going to go 2-8 with the 4-6, with the 3-7-10 in that race, and then 6-9 in the race 11. We got a couple of minutes here, Terry. It looks like to race number 2. Let me take a look. Yeah, we got 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and run through race number 9 real fast. Race 9 is the Hillsboro Stakes. It is a grade 2 for $225,000, 1 1/8 miles on the turf. That favors closers. Only 17% of the horses managed to go wire to wire. Once again, we find there is a big rail penalty, so California Queen could have its work cut out for her. Post 2 and 3 are fair. Post 4 through 7 are best. And strangely, 8 and out get a really big penalty. So it looks like you want your horse to wear a 2 through 7. I don't think there is an 8 horse in this field, so it doesn't really much matter in here, Terry. Scottish Star is going to be the one they all have to run down in the end.
Yeah, he should get to the quarter pole really, really easily if the simulated percentage that we have here works out. And then as far as the overlay goes, that 3 is a really nice overlay. It's supposed to be, 1.5 or a little over 1.5 to 1. And Morning Lion has it at 6 to 1. So also the 4, I guess he's also a pretty nice overlay too.
In race number 9, as far as our worksheet is concerned, look at this, Terry. Nobody really wants to be on the lead or even pressure. Everybody prefers to be middle or back. The 7 horse does indeed have a ton of early speed. It's going to be your likely leader in here, Terry. There's no question about that. As far as late pace is concerned, I think that's going to be, looks like to me the 3 horses got some late speed in it. That's probably the one that's going to be closing the hardest. The question is anybody going to run down that 7? To me, that is the story of this race. Is it going to be able to get to the lead? Is it going to be able to run soft enough fractions that the horse can go wire to wire? What say you?
Okay. Well, in this race, I like that 6 Chanticera. She ran second in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with another horse, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then number 5, Gam's Mission, comes in from Churchill Downs after winning the G3 Mint Julep, has finished in the money 70% of her career races, and she's won 40% of those starts. And then number 7, Scottish Star, she ran second in her first race at Tampa Bay Downs, only losing by a neck. She has a high percentage winning trainer. My long shot is number 2, Surprisingly. She is a closer who won her last start at Tampa Bay Downs, is ridden by Paco Lopez, and I want to bet $10 to win on the number 6.
So this race, to me, I flipped the horses around about 5-6 times before I settled on the final order here. Shantasara is one of 2 Chad Brown horses in this field, and Shantasara is the one that Irad Ortiz is riding. That's really, to me, all you need to know with these 2 Chad Brown horses. The other one is Rozier, the 4 horse. And this one has been squaring up against a bunch of grade 1 types. And this is absolutely the lightest field that this horse has faced in quite a while. If it's ready to go, Irad probably would have wished he picked the 4 horse. Temple City Terror does have that big late pace advantage against the field that doesn't really have a lot of early speed. So I think that should put this horse closer to the front than normal. And then finally, surprisingly, was a tough call over the 7 horse, that Scottish Star that's going to get out to the lead. But they raced against each other in the last one, and the 2 horse surprisingly passed the 7 horse Scottish Star in the lane. That was at a mile. Today, they're going an 1/8 of a mile longer, which should only benefit surprisingly more over the 7. That extra distance, I think, hurts the 7. I'm going to do a trifecta with the 3, 4, and 6. Again, I thought this race had a lot of ways to go. The 4, 6 with the 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7. Let's rewind back to race number 2, Terry, because it looks like, well, they're starting to work their way to the gate. They haven't quite got there yet. But here are our picks for race number 2. We have Terry likes the 2 horse. I like the 7 horse on top. I think those are your 2 favorites. Right now, the 2 horse, which is Terry's single in his back end of his double. You got 10 to win on the 2 as well here. Those 2 are your favorites. That 5 horse, that first time starter, is 16 to 1. So it looks like the 2 is your favorite at 6 to 5. The 7 is your second favorite at 7 to 5. And then the 6 horse is the third choice at 9 to 2. Everybody else is well into double digits as they're starting to load up in. One of my favorite things about when I went down to Tampa Bay Downs is they have Nathan's hot dogs in there, which is one of my favorite hot dogs. I wish they would have sponsored us when we were doing our hot dog pick 4s, Terry.
Yeah, that would have been nice. It sure would have been. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, so they're almost all loaded in. Looks like they have a full house down there at Tampa Bay Downs. Looks beautiful. Jamie sent me some nice videos. The sun is out. The people are all in T-shirts and stuff. Lots of smiles everywhere, as you can imagine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a beautiful day down there in Tampa. I was telling her it's going to be 35 degrees here, and she was rubbing it in. Oh, it's perfect down here. I told her she better be careful or I'm going to mean tweet at her too, because she gets just a ton of crap from people on Twitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain. Well, not today, but day before yesterday and the night before yesterday, there was so much rain. Just down Southern California, they're really getting them.
Are they going to cancel Santa Anita today, you think, or no?
I don't know. They canceled yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And,
all right, so race number 2, the gates have just opened, and you have the 2 horse going to the lead. The 7 horse got trapped wide, which could be going into that first turn, could be a big negative for that 7 horse. Yeah, he got trapped way wide. So you have the 2, and then on the outside of the 2, you have the 5 horse, that first time starter with Pablo. I had a feeling Pablo rode that horse in the mornings and had a sense of what that horse was capable of. And then after the 5, you have the 3 horse in third, followed by the 6. The 7 horse probably wanted to be on the lead. Yeah, he's way now off the back. They ran the opening quarter in 23 and 7. I would say for the for a mile and 40 yards, it might be a little bit on the quick side at Tampa. Tough to say. The 2 horse is starting to extend its lead a little bit, although Pablo is maintaining there. It looks like the 2 horse right now is the one to beat. The 3 horse up on the rail starting to make its move a little bit. Pablo and the 6 horse, they're all out on that 6 horse. Here comes the 7 now. He's making a huge move on the outside. The question is he going to be able to run down the 2? The 6 horse is trying to follow the 7. He's hadn't got any success yet. And around the turn they come. And despite that terrible start, the 7 just moved up and beyond the 2 horse. So it's going to go 7, 2. And then the question is the 5 going to catch the 6 or not? Or is the 6 going to catch the 5? The first time starter's starting to die a little bit. So 7 is a big winner, running away. It's going to go 7 and then 6-2. Damn it. I got all the right horses. Come on, 5. You can't hold on for me. What's going on here, Terry?
I don't know. And that 5 was 23-1 too.
Yeah, I know. I needed him to finish third. I mean, well, I needed the. This has been the problem for me lately, Terry. I've been picking. I think the other day when we did Gulfstream Park, I had the winner in every single race in my picks, and somehow managed to really struggle to find winning tickets. And this has really been an ongoing issue for me the last couple of days, like the last week.
Well,
I hope I can end that.
I think that 6 caught the 2 at the end.
Oh, it did. No question, it did. Yes, it did. All right. I mean, they're all in the picks there. I think I would have had the superfect if I had boxed it, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
On to race number 10, Terry. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go on to race number 10. Race 10 is the Florida Oaks. It's a grade 3 for $200,000. They're going to run a mile and a 16th on the turf course, which doesn't really have any advantages to anybody. Any running style could win. Any post position could win, Terry. So it's going to be what you would probably call a jockey's race, or a best horse is going to win this race. The 2 also eligibles, the 13 and the 14, aren't in this race. Free Look is the big favorite. The simulator says it's the favorite too, but I have some concerns. What do you see?
Yeah, there's a lot of, early speed in here, the 5, 12, 3, and 4. Although I think the 5 is going to get there first to that quarter pole. Then your overlay, there's a really nice overlay on that 7. 3-1 versus 15-1 on the morning line. And then the 9 horse is, the 10 horse is a little bit of an overlay, not much. That's about it.
And in race 10, we do see that those 2 horses were scratched. They were also eligibles, not in this particular spot. The 4 and the 8 like to be on the lead, but looks to me like this quartet of horses, the 5, the 3, the 7, and the 12, this quartet has the most early speed. But what's interesting to me here, Terry, is that the 10 horse didn't register anywhere in there. And then the 3 horse and the 7 also have the 2 horses with the most late speed. They're going to get ideal trips. They're going to have the late speed, if their records are any indication, to stay there and then make a race of it at the end, Terry. That 10 horse is the big favorite. I think it is vulnerable in here, so I probably just locked it in as a single, Terry. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the 10 Free Look. Actually, my pick of the day, she is trained by Chad Brown, ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr., has the best dirt speed among today's starters, and they added Lasix today. And then number 6, my second pick, Navy Goat, finished in the money in all 4 of her career races, winning 2 of the races, and she's got a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. I like the 3, Alpha Beta, Bella. She ran second in her last race. It was a grade 3, and she was only lost by 3/4 of a length. She has a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like the long shot number 8, Jupiter's Moon. Came in from Aqueduct and won her first race at Tampa Bay Downs and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I want to bet $10 to win on the number 10 horse.
10 to win on the 10 in race number 10, Terry. There's got to be some numerology to that, my friend. Is that why you put 10 on it, or is that all you had left?
No, I tend to go with $10 because it's easy to keep track of how much money
when you're doing the math. All right,
yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I don't keep track of the math, and that's why I get a lot of rulers across the knuckle. So that 10 horse Free Look, I think it's raced 4 times, and it really has never had a good trip. Always bumped, some sort of in-race problems, and still very competitive against top competition. I think this one should be the class here, but you never know. Number 3, Alpha Bella, as I mentioned in the Way to the Winner's Circle worksheet, it and the 7 have the best early speed, late speed combinations by about 10 points over the rest of the field. And I'm expecting some sizable improvement on race number 2 off the sidelines. That's what happened last time the horse had a 2-race cycle. Number 7, Stephanie's Charm. My grandmother's name, Stephanie, so I got to play that one. So I'm going to take the other horse in here at a price with superior early pace, late pace combination and major overlay, according to the simulator. And then finally, number 11, Grace Darling is my final choice. I absolutely love the comment for the horse that started off in Ireland for its first 2 races. And in that U.S. debut, the comments were surged between horses when asked. A lot of times horses don't like to run between horses. So when you ask a horse to go in between horses and does so willingly, that's a sign to me of a horse that has a lot of heart. Going to be a competitive horse in here, I think. I'm going to do a try 3, 7, 10 with the 310, with the 1, 3, 7, 10, and 11. And that's going to take us to race number 11, which is the big race of the day. I think one of them anyway. This one is the Tampa Bay Derby. Tampa Bay Derby, they're going to run a mile and a 16th for a $400,000 race there. That's a lot of money in there. Again, at a mile and a 16th, there is an early speed bias. 19% of the horses go wire to wire, but the rail horse is yet to win. Post 2 and 3 way underperform. 4 through 7, they perform at a higher rate than they should. And 8 and out really get the job done, Terry. So it looks to me like you want some outside speed horses in the Tampa Bay Derby, this grade 3, $400,000 race. And you're going to find all of the speed is on the outside.
It is. It's the 8, the 11, and the 9. They're all on the outside, and they're all pretty close to, at least the 8 and the 11, pretty close to percentage-wise who's going to get to the quarter pole. But I think they're all three going to be trying to do that, and just who knows? It's anybody's guess who makes it there first.
Mm-hmm.
And then the overlays are the 2's a nice overlay, supposed to be 7-2, and it's 8-1 in the morning line, and then the 9 supposed to be just above even money, and it's 4.5-1 on the morning line.
Yes, the car wash. Talking about the car wash. Yeah, that was probably your favorite song growing up, Terry.
Yeah.
It was one of mine. I liked it a lot as a kid.
It was.
I don't know why. I always had this, like my grandfather would take us through the car wash, and I always was fascinated by going through the car wash for some reason as a kid. Is that like a common kid experience or what? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is. I liked it. So
yeah, I liked it too. All right. So in this race, I like the 6-horse Tappet Trice. You know, this horse should really get the perfect setup as the lone PC horse versus horses with a lot of early speed. So I think you're going to see Tappet Trice get a fantastic trip. She's Turkin. This one was the favorite last time out against Tappet Trice. Could be better in the second route race, in the third career start. Maybe didn't like that first race going long. Number 3, Classic Legacy, showed huge improvement in round 2 in its only other 2-race cycle. And I think getting Irad Ortiz here is going to be helpful, but the post position is not. And then finally, number 7, Freedom Road. I'm going to take a price here with a closer that appears to be getting better race to race. And then when I looked at the workouts since the last race, they confirm this horse is going to be fit, firm, and ready to go. Get another trifecta for me, Terry, in race number 11, the 6-9, the 3-6-9 with the 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9. And that wraps up all of the stakes races, but not the racing for the day, because they are going to close out in race number 12, with a 1-mile turf race for a maiden special weight. This one is $32,000. And at 1 mile on the turf, as we talked a few times, Tactical Speed does well. 22% of the horses win going wire to wire. Unlike some of the other races we talked about, there is an inside 3 bias, 4 and out, play close to fair. So no deal makers, no deal breakers. Terry, for the last time today, tell us what you see from the simulator.
Well, the 11 horse looks like it's got lots of speed since the 1 horse was scratched.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the speed is out of there. And also the overlay would be the number 10 horse. He's supposed to be, real low, like 1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5.
That.
But there's a lot of first-time starters and horses in here that really only have like 1 or 2 runs. Yeah. So you're not, the data set is not, there's going to be a lot of volatility when you only have a little bit of data to work with. So yep. I wouldn't put as much emphasis on these as I would on the races where you have, deeper histories for the horses that are running. For the last time today, I didn't go through race number 11 on this, did I? All right. Well, anyway, race 12, I'm going to go through it. As you can see, everybody is backloaded in here, Terry.
Yeah.
A lot of backloaded horses, and you have some of the speed with the 1, the 11, and the 10. You got a bunch of first-time starters over here with the 7, the 8, the 9, the 12 not being a part of the mix in here. This PC horse has a pretty strong late pace advantage and a pretty strong early speed, late speed combo as the lone PC horse. Should get the trip it wants, Terry. What do you think is going to happen when they hit the wire in this last race?
Well, I think that 5 Galileo's Jewel is going to win. She finished third versus Tupper in her first 2 career races, drops in class today, and she can improve at the longer distance. Then I like this first-time starter Royalty Interest. It's number 9, and she's got the breeding that suggests she'll like the grass. She has a high percentage winning trainer. Then number 4 is my third pick. She has the highest last speed rating, drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a really nice workout of 5 furlongs on March 5th. And then I like as a long shot, number 10, Lil Miss Moonlight. She ran second versus Similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning jockey, and that jockey trainer combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 5 starts. No bets for me in this race.
In the final race of the day, Little Miss Moonlight is that lone PC horse versus a field that really doesn't have a ton of early speed, does have that +7 late page edge over all the other experienced horses. Number 9, Royal Interest, is a Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, first-time starter with some really good works. Kind of hard to overlook that horse. Number 2, Volatility, has a couple of decent races on turf. Jockey Sammy Camacho and trainer John Terranova have teamed up 7 times. They've won 3 of them. And then finally, that 5-horse Galileo's Jewel was the favorite in its last race. Decent workouts, but unfortunately for trainer Anthony Dutrow, he's tried to go from sprint to route on the first route 19 times in 2023, Terry, and he has as many wins as you and I do going sprint to route for the first time, 0. So until he breaks that no way I'm going to put him at the top of my ticket. Good luck to you. I hope he does win for you. I'm going to do a trifecta, 9-10 with the 2-9-10 with the 2, 4, 5, 9, and 10 to close out the card. Here are our full picks for the entirety of the Tampa Bay Downs card today, Terry. Through the first race, the 4-horse won the first race. The 5 got third somehow. I don't know. He got beat by that 3-horse somehow. In race number 2, the 7-horse, despite a terrible start, did manage to get the win. I think he got beat. The 2-horse got beat, or one of those horses got beat by the 6 at the wire, right? So it went 7-6-2, something like that in the second race. Is that right? And then the 5. I know those were the 4 horses that were involved. And then you can see the full card, the rest of the cards right there, Terry. Any final thoughts before we get up and out of here today? Are you with me? Are you on mute? I can't hear a word you're saying, brother.
In there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Only final thoughts? Well, let's see. I'm hoping that the rest of the day turns out good like the first couple of races started for us, even though I'm sorry that my number 2 horse did not win because it keyed in my pick 4, my double. But I'm hoping everybody has a great weekend and the rest next week comes out well for everybody. The weather calms down. I'm hoping it's not going to be given bad weather when I go to Oaklawn. So
that won't be bad weather, Terry. Be positive. Think positive, my friend.
Think positive, yeah.
Indeed.
Everybody tell your loved ones how you feel because you just never know what's going to happen every day. And if you like what you saw today, please subscribe to Instagram. I mean to
all of the above. Instagram, Facebook,
above, yeah.
Twitter, yes.
Yeah, and don't forget to do the little bell on YouTube to get notified. So.
And the like button as well, indeed. And
yep.
College basketball, I think a lot of those tournaments are going to end today and tomorrow. They're going to announce the seeds. If you're going to play some college basketball picks, I would suggest going to Picks with the Professor. There is a link down in the description below. Make sure you click on that. Go to the YouTube channel, Professor Sides. Let them know we sent you. With all the money you're going to make today with your picks, our picks, Professor's picks, whoever's picks you're going to use, head on over to Winning Touches as well. There's a link down in the description below where you can get a lot of great horse racing gifts for the horse player in your family. I'll be back on Monday with Terry. We'll be together all week next week. Monday and Tuesday, we'll do parks. Wednesday, we're going to do Gulfstream Park. We'll see what we're going to do on Thursday. Charles will be gone, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do next Saturday. Of course, next week, Sean and Julie, because Jamie's going to be away for the week. They're going to get together for Horse Center, have plenty of great guests. To make sure you don't miss out on any of that, as Terry said, hit the subscribe button while you're here on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. We have a lot of tremendous content. And as I said, Jamie has been texting me a lot of great stuff from Tampa Bay Downs already. We're going to take you to the track, even if you can't make it there today, with some of our content over on Horse Racing Radar TV. As always, we thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your support, and we hope that no matter what you do this Saturday, until we get together again next time, everything ends up in
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us again. Have a fantastic weekend.